Salute, salute, salute to my beautiful people. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Of course, over here trying to make sure that my settings are okay. Y'all know what to do. Give me a little 9 in the chat if you guys could hear me okay. Let me know that we are on point. Hopefully everybody is well. Hold on, let me just double check my stuff. Make sure that I'm good. All right, I'm looking good on my end. Let me know if y'all could hear me. Smash that like button on your way in. Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you. I see the 9s. Thank y'all. So we are in business. Hold on, got some people in the room. Shout out to the fool ass Earthman. He says infinite love. Make sure you smash the like on your way. Yes, indeed. Salute to my beautiful sister, Cameron, my girl, always in the building with that beautiful divine energy. Peace to the great Mike, okay? Can't do it without Mike in the building. He's one of my top gunners in this YouTube space. Nothing but infinite love and respect to the great Mike, as I call him. Salute, King Kano. Salute. Nice to see you in the building. Oh my goodness, we got the King Eric. Oh, okay. My people are showing up. I'm happy to see y'all. Happy Sunday, everybody. I hope everybody's weekend has been, calm and nice. For those of you who have the day off tomorrow, it's a nice long weekend. I hope you guys been enjoying yourselves, taking it easy, taking time to get some rest and get things done. And hopefully, spend some quality time with yourself and your loved ones and whoever. Hope you guys have just been taking care of yourselves. That's always important. Okay. So I got a few things I wanted to talk about today. We got some more people coming in the room. Judah says, what's good, Queen? What's good with you, King? Nice to see you. Thank you for coming. The King, Stephen X, is in the building. Salute, King. Peace to the sweet science examiner. Okay. Nice to see you, King. Shalom and blessings to you as well. We got the King Kano in the building, as I mentioned. We got the King Vani. Blessings to you, beautiful King. Always good to see the King Vani. The Jab Jamboree, salute to you. We got King Snoop showing up. Okay. All right, y'all. So we in here. The family is in here. The team is on deck. Okay. Happy Sunday to everybody once again. I had some things that I wanted to touch on, I guess, because it's been quite the eventful past 2 weeks, right? And definitely the eventful week that we've had, okay, in the boxing world. Now, we had some announcements. We had some, last week we talked about, Devin hopping up on the scene again, letting the boxing world know that he is coming, that he is not playing any games, that he is here to do what it do. Caused a lot of ruffled feathers. Facts or no, you guys, in the boxing world, everybody, some people are perturbed, some people are, excited and happy, but nonetheless, everybody, whether they were on that train or not, were definitely and most certainly galvanized around Devin Haney's, announcement that he'd be returning to the scene. And this week we got some surprising news, okay? The surprises keep turning up in the boxing world, it seems. And you know what? I'm glad because, considering everything that we've been through the past year, you guys, with the slow motion in boxing, I got to say that 2025 has started off to an amazing start. And no, first fight has occurred yet in 2025, but we got a lot of excitement buzzing and generating. Okay. We got fights that we're anticipating, most certainly next month, but it's like the year is already starting off and we haven't even solidified the first fight yet, which is absolutely wonderful. And I would say that it's in direct opposition to what we were facing last year. If you remember this time last year, we hadn't even had any fight cards announced. We were awaiting what fight would be taking place. Everything was slow motion. Oh man, we were just like, what is going on? Our fight's going to be lined up. So that's the position that we were in last year. So it's wonderful to see things catapulting, before anything even officially begins this current year. Hold on, let me take a sip of my apple juice. Okay. So the surprises keep turning up, you guys, right? Devin Haney announces that he is leaving the 140-pound division, all right? I'm not sure if you guys saw his tweet earlier in the week where he said, bye 140, okay? He chucked the deuces to the 140 division, right? So we got that. We also got news of a 4-man battle that is going to be ensuing for supremacy, okay? And boxing has been given, in my view, some much needed resuscitation and new life after collecting dust for the past year, okay? So new life is beginning in boxing, okay? And it seems that what's at stake here, or what's really in clear view as far as oppositional positions for me, at least, is that this new life will either catapult and spurt the growth and the processes of the people who are worthy, or this new life can end the current life as we know it for some other boxers. I think that's the position that is happening right now, that we are seeing amid all of the news and all of the news shuffling that we have managed for the better, you know, of this new type of transition that we seem to be entering in 25, which is absolutely amazing. Okay. Hold on. Let me pause. I see my people talking to me. Blessings, everybody that's coming into the room. Salute to Dante F. Salute to Anthony Ingram. Yes, beautiful people. I see y'all. The King PG. Salute to you, King. Nice to see you. Jay the Man. Hello. The King Roz in the building. Yes, y'all. I love to see you guys show up. Salute to everybody. I hope everybody is well. So yeah, let's get into this. So Turkey once again, absolutely annihilates you guys. Turkey once again annihilates the presumptions and speculations, the excuses, the subterfuge, and the evasions, y'all. What? Tell me Turkey ain't out here big stepping. Tell me he not out here doing his damn thing, you guys. Okay? The man is stepping properly as always, okay? Because I haven't not seen him step properly since he really showed up and took center stage within the boxing world. The man is showing in multiple ways, in various ways, consistently and perpetually that he is with the shits. Okay? I don't know how to say I'm with the shits in Arabic, but whatever that translation is what it is, because this man is stepping on business time. All right? He is eliminating the sides of the street trope that people want to tote around. He's eliminating the, oh, it's not possible for this to happen at this particular time, or, oh, well, we just have to wait 10 years to let it marinate. You know that old excuse that we hear from time to time, right? Oh, let it marinate. It's not time yet. It has to be given time. Turkey is saying, listen, we got time, but we don't have as much time as we think. Why waste time just because we have time? Okay, that's a bar. Why waste time just because we have it? Doesn't mean it needs to be wasted. We can get these fights made. We can get these fights done. And we can have, you know, all of the partners come to the table, no matter what side of the street that you are on. You can come to the table and we can establish some parlance, you know, around the materialization of the matchups that the people want to see. It makes no sense to solve these things out way beyond their shelf life just because, you know, they feel that they can do so, right? The suits feel that they can do so, or because the fighters themselves may be too pussy to do so, if I'm going to be quite honest, because we know that a lot of that has to do with that particular aspect and fact, okay? The sides of the street troop has lost every bit of ground with Turki Al-Sheikh in the building. It's lost so much steam, and rightfully so. I'm glad it lost steam, okay? And the sassy man fans, they can't cope with the reality that the sides of the street and any other excuse that they want to round up, you know, is losing credibility. They cannot cope with the reality that the excuses are dwindling and people are making less space to accept those excuses now. Okay, the walls of the man fans are tumbling down. And I'm not talking about the walls that they would wish would be demolished by their favorite. Not those walls. I'm talking about the walls of reality. Okay, that is what's crashing down on them, and that is what they can't handle and what they can't take. I be online seeing so many people crashing out, as you beautiful people have seen with me, as we see on BFTB's channel, whether you go on Champ Size channel, whether you step to Blue Blood's channel, or any other YouTube space. You can see these people, whether you're circulating on Twitter, whatever social media vehicle that it is that you use. I'm sure all of you have come across to one degree or another, the crashing out of the man fans who have incessantly been trying to tote Turkey as a problem, okay, who have been waving the banner of people like Tank Davis that want to say and want to deem that Turkey isn't good for boxing, that he don't know shit about what he's doing, yet the man is solidifying some of the best matchups we've seen in ages. How is it that he don't know what he's doing, but he's getting all the wonderful fights made? Seems to me like he knows exactly what the hell he's doing, and all the hate is to stay away from that heat that he would put you front and center of if you worked with him. You know what I mean? He's not going to give you an easy out. He's going to put you in a matchup that he knows is highly requested, highly demanded by the people. And that's what all of these promoters should have been doing from the advent and from the outset. They should always intend to make the best fights. But for whatever reason, over the past however many years, these people are trying to bank off of the backs of the boxing public without solidifying any matchups that are worthwhile, at least not on a consistent basis, because of course we got our Bud versus EJ, Ryan versus Tank, I guess was, we can call that a big fight, and it ended up being Tank's and Ryan's most popular fight, and stuff like that. So we had our matchups, sprinkled in, but the consistency of the matchups, virtually non-existent. You know what I'm saying? And I want to see, this is why I salute and I back Turkey, because he is not trying to, sprinkle in a matchup here or there. He's saying, listen, this is the boxing game. We can shake it up with all of these dudes. You know what I'm saying? Even to the degree that we have, the possibility of something like a Bud Crawford and a Canelo. He's willing to shake up the pot. He's willing to stir things up and get things generated. And it's wonderful to see that. So I salute the King Turkey. I think he's out here doing phenomenal, fantastic, and wonderful work. And, it's precisely for that reason that we see the incessant hate, pertaining to Turkey across the boxing world. It's been far reaching. The excuses as to why he's bad for boxing, as I mentioned, he doesn't know anything. All of that shit is cap, y'all. Okay. Us real ones in this space know what time it is. It's all cap. Okay. And it's only meant to shield and protect their favorite fighter from getting into the lion's den. That's why the fighters uphold that excuse, okay? Because they want to protect their favorite fighter from getting in the middle of the action and being demanded to show and prove. That's what all the chatter is about. It's to say, oh, well, my favorite fighter doesn't have to go in the mix of a Turkey, card. He doesn't have to do that. Why should he have to get in there with a particular fighter? So they'll just chop it up and instead of saying, we don't want our fighters to compete and be threatened, with the idea of being defeated. So we'd rather make up all the excuses as to why Turkey's money is not good money. We'd rather make excuses as to why, Turkey isn't business savvy in boxing. All of the excuses that they could muster up will be had just to justify the fact that they want to protect and keep their favorite fighter away from getting in the middle of that fire, in the middle of that heat. All the talk that I've been coming across the past week, you guys, has been absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous on every level, as I'm sure that you guys could agree, because you've been seeing it too. Okay. Now, that's the hate train that's going around for Turki Al-Sheikh. These motherfuckers know good and goddamn well, okay, that Turkey's objective, his sole purpose and aim, okay, is to make the matchups that count for and within the sport. That's his objective. He don't give a damn about who got their hair braided today. He don't give a damn about what card this and this person is rolling up in. None of that matters to him. He's like, okay, you say you're the best. I think you're the best as a fan of boxing. We got the people saying that these people are among the best. Why not get it in? Why not get it cracking? That's the only thing Turkey cares about. He don't give a damn about nothing else. He don't care about the glitter, the glow. He's not impressed. Okay. He's a boxing fan. Okay. With a crazy amount of resources to invest in the sport in ways that everybody can benefit from the business partners, you know what I'm saying? And investors, to the fighters, to the promoters, and most importantly for us as the boxing fans, the people who show up in support of these events and who really, real talk, keep boxing alive. We are the heartbeat of the sport. You know what I'm saying? The boxing fans, you and me, we are the heartbeat. And so he is catering to the very the most important aspect of the sport, which is the fans, the people who are going to talk about it, the people who are going to create content around it, the people who are going to buy tickets, the people who are going to put asses in seats, the people who are going to tell their grandbabies 10, 15 years, 25 years from now about the time that they saw such and such in the middle of the ring. He's catering to us. And I think that a lot of people who want to slight him, have a problem with that, because Turkey seems to be bypassing the middleman in myriad ways. Not only is he bypassing the middleman as far as the promoters, his ability to go directly to the fighter and to set up, partnerships with the fighter, that can benefit them. He's also able to, speak directly to us as boxing fans. You know what I'm saying? By curtailing his way around the nonsense, bypassing the nonsense, and saying, listen, all of this, fluff in the middle doesn't have to be had for these fights to be done. What's your price? Because I'm willing to pay it. I'm not going to sit on the sidelines and complain like, your Eddie Hearn or like your, Top Rank or whatever the hell the case is. I'm coming just me. You know what I'm saying? And I have the means to do this, so let's get these fights made. I think it's wonderful. The pussyfooting around does not interest Turkey, and I love that. Okay? I love that he's not there for the excuses. He does not walk on eggshells, in other words, concerning these fights and the probability of getting them made. Okay? He wants to see them made. That is his only objective and his only aim. And the effect of that type of persistence that Turkey seems to have, and his commitment to getting these fights made and seeing them done, I think it tends to frighten a lot of cowardly onlookers. Okay? It tends to frighten them, those who want to protect, their people or their favorites from getting in there and actually being amid all the competition and competing with the best around them. That's the only conclusion that I can draw. You know what I'm saying? Why else would somebody be against, something like this tournament that we are seeing being put on, or just, what Turkey's interests are as far as mixing up and shaking up the dynamic of the competition as a whole. That's the only reason that I can think of, that people would have a problem in seeing these particular types of fights made. You know what I mean? So let's see what my chat's saying. I see some people talking to me. Salute everybody. Salute. Oh, the King Uncommon. Salute to you, King Uncommon. Nice to see you. King Freedom. Nice to see you. The King ATL says, salute, Queen. Salute to you too. Nice to see you. The key of life 7 times is in the building. Nice to see you. Rated R says, sugar free. Spit, sis. Let's go, bro. You know I'm on it. You know I got this. Okay. We got the King Sticks in the building. Oh, my word. My beautiful King Champside is in the building. Salute, beautiful King. Nice to see you. My sister Shawa is in the building. Hey, beautiful sis. Yes, indeed. Demo, nice to see you. I see y'all coming through. Happy to have you guys. Happy to have you. I really am. I didn't know if anything was going on today. I know that, this is a sports time. You know what I'm saying? Champside has really been putting me on to football. I don't know a thing about football. But I know that there are some games going on, so I tried to come on a little bit earlier. So hopefully I'm not intruding or impeding upon you guys this time. Those of you who watch football, hopefully I'm in the clear. But seeing you here lets me know that I think I'm, doing decent as far as the time slot that I chose. So I'm glad about that. Nice to see everybody. Shogun, I see you, King. Salute. My big brother, the Druth always gives me such an epic, greeting when I pop onto his channel. So I got to give Drew a huge greeting. My big brother, the Druth, is in the building. I got to do it like he does because he shows me so much love when I show up to his channel. Salute to you, Drew. Nice to see you, my brother. Salute to Shaquan. Hey, my guy. G-Road says, peace, Queen. Nice to see you. Nice to see y'all. Nice to see my brothers in the building and my sisters in the building. Right. So, it's it's wonderful what I see here. And of course, we all know that Big Turk, of course, set up this 4-man tournament. Of course, that's all the rage right now. Everybody's talking about it, and rightfully so, because it's crazy. It's a crazy, crazy idea, and it's a beautiful way to jolt, some excitement into the sport. Okay, so this 4-man tournament, as we know, will consist of Devin, Haney, racist Garcia, Teofimo Lopez, and Boots Ennis. Y'all, when I heard this, I was like, what? It's gonna what? Who is in the mix of this? I thought it was absolutely crazy, you guys. I was like a kid in a candy store hearing this stuff. I was like, yes, Turk, this is exactly what we need. I appreciate this, and I'm glad you stepped up to the plate to formulate it. Now, I do have some thoughts. That I will divulge with y'all a little bit later on. We'll get to that. But for now, let's read what Turk tweeted about this whole escapade that we will be embarking on in 2025 and possibly into 2026. So this is what he tweeted. This is Big Turk. He says, quote, "It's easy. Fight in May, then the big rematch." He's talking about Devin and Ryan in October, right? Then he says, "And on the same card, we will try Tio against Boots. Then the winner against the winner of that, and the loser against the loser in February. Need to discuss with our partners Top Rank, Matchroom, Golden Boy, and PBC." End quote. So that's what he says. So he's lining it up. Okay, he's got the foresight of a businessman. I don't know how somebody could say he don't know what he's doing. This man is planning out. Okay, a year ahead and possibly beyond, because of course this is only what he gave us. You know what I'm saying? Who knows what else this man has in store the year after that, the year after that, and the year after that. So obviously the vision is long term with Turkey. He's not playing any games. Okay, he's stepping up to the plate. So yeah, it's wonderful to see what was presented. You know what I'm saying? The possible fight between the Devin Haney and Riri happening in October, and on that same card in October will be Boots Ennis and Teofimo Lopez. That is what he's discussing with Top Rank, Matchroom, Golden Boy, and of course the PBC. Okay? I think it's fabulous. Absolutely wonderful, you guys. I don't know how you can be a boxing fan and not be in anticipation of this. The concept is phenomenal, and it's giving a much needed shake and a wake-up call to the sport. I think he's dusting off, the sleeves of the sport in a major way. I think it's wonderful. This is exactly what's needed to shake things up and stir things up and bring some excitement again, like I said, coming off of such a lackluster year that we've had in 24, right? 24 was just like, what is going on? It was a lagging, it was a stalling, it was, lethargic. I didn't get it. I didn't get what was happening in 24, aside from those little spurts that we had, in between, of course, like Devin Haney's fight with Ryan and stuff like that. But majority of 24, I really do just want to forget and bypass altogether. I don't want a repeat of that. You guys know I say that time and time again. It's so true. I don't want a repeat of 24. So it's wonderful that things is off to such a great start for 25, and according to Turkey, even beyond 25, which is wonderful. So yes, I couldn't help but feel like, after the year that we came off of, I was starting to wonder, if all was lost in boxing. But Turkey said, nah, son, nah, we gonna get this popping. I'm on a job. And I was like, okay, Turk, I feel you. Now, it's been reported that Devin Haney in his fight, his comeback fight, his initial fight before Ryan, is going to be Jose Ramirez. And that's going to be at a catch weight of 144. They're going to be fighting at 144. Right? For that, his first comeback bout. Absolutely fantastic news and fantastic choice of opponent. I must say, you guys, I thought it was wonderful. I was like, okay, Ramirez got some stock, baby. He got some stock. That man got a resume. He done fought for Undisputed. Excuse me? Put some respect on Devin Haney's name. Okay? Ain't no soft touches. He's out here, with a worthy warrior, a worthy opponent, and a warrior who has shown and proven on the battlefield. Okay. Ramirez is a 140 pounder, and I'm told that he is, planning on venturing into the welterweight division if he's not there. I don't think he's there right now, but he's transitioning into welterweight already, which is wonderful for Devin, who is also obviously on that path. So, I think it's wonderful there. Ramirez is a former unified champion. He's ranked in 3 of the sanctioning bodies. Okay. Stacked resume. Undisputed matchup under his belt, even though he lost against Josh Taylor. He fought Josh. That was the undisputed matchup that Josh Taylor ultimately won. It was against Ramirez. So this man is, the credibility is all over him. All over him. This man is absolutely nothing to lull over. Fantastic choice and matchup for Devin Haney. The man's first loss was to Josh Taylor, if I'm not mistaken. That was his first loss. So wonderful, wonderful opponent for Devin. That undisputed, reputation is all over him. I love that. The credence is thick. Okay. He fought Richard Comey, I believe. He fought Barboza, Victor Postal. Come on, y'all. Come on. This is it. This is it. I like the selection. I like the choice. Okay. The man is anything but light work, and I'd expect nothing less of Devin Haney as far as his choice of opponent. I'm definitely interested in seeing the dynamic between he and Devin. Okay? I think it's a great comeback fight, and I think that the level of experience is right on par with Devin. Okay? And it's certainly going to make for an exciting match. Now, that's Devin's, comeback fight. Let's get into this, y'all. Racist Riri, okay, is interestingly for his opponent in his comeback fight, he's going to be fighting against Pitbull Cruz. Child, let me take a sip of this real quick. I had to take a sip because how interesting is this, you guys? How interesting is this? I found this to be very, very curious. Okay, seeing as Pitbull has never fought above 140, that was one aspect of it. He fought Rolly and he fought Rayo at 140, I believe. So I was like, okay, well, what is making? I guess my initial thing was like, what is making Pitbull go up? I heard him, not make any complaints about 140. Have you? He just got to 40. I heard no, issues with weight or anything like that. I was surprised, like. Pitbull at 144? Interesting stuff. Did anybody else think that? I'm wondering how the 4 pounds will look on the king. I can't say king, but the young man Pitbull. How's 144 going to look on him? Does he intend, obviously, eventually to go up to 47? I had some questions there that I thought were, they piqued my interest. Nonetheless, I do think that it makes for quite an interesting duel. Riri and Pitbull. All right. We all know that Pitbull got completely outboxed by Rayo back in August, right? We all saw that. We all witnessed that man had no answer for the boxing that Rayo chose to show up with for that matchup. Pitbull was, out of his wits. He was out of sorts with a boxing style. Okay. And we already know what was exemplified and what happened to him when Tank Davis pulled out his boxing acumen and skills and danced circles around him during their fight. Okay, so obviously there's a pattern here that we know is, evident as far as Pitbull is concerned. He cannot deal with boxers. He can't deal with the boxing style. Okay, so that's evident. And because of that, my question that I would posit right now to you all is, and what I'm positing really just in general, is what will Riri be able to do against the style of Pitbull Cruz? What will he be able to do with Pitbull Cruz's style? And in what style will Riri show up in? I got questions about that. It's interesting to me. I can't say this is a fight that I, am, completely excited about, but it does pose his interests, right? Is there a possibility that, Riri will adapt a boxing style? I'm wondering, you know what I'm saying? Will he adopt a style that consists of an effective jab You know what I'm saying? Will he take on some fluid footwork to be able to turn Cruz and get around Cruz? You know what I'm saying? And bypass and hold off and abate that onslaught that we all know is a part of Pitbull Cruz's style. What is Riri going to be able to do? Because we know that Riri has no finesse whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? He's a stand there, come forward type of fighter. He does no feet, and there's really no, jab going on. And if he thinks that he's going to show up with the taco shell up in that fight, I don't know. Maybe taco against taco? I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I'm looking at the styles, and I'm like, what am I going to see? You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know. I think it's very, very, very interesting. And as far as Cruz, I'm wondering if he has learned his lesson from his defeat against Rayo, up against that type of boxing style. Will he himself, be a little bit more fluid and elusive on his feet so that in case, Ryan shows up with a more style of fluidity in boxing, would he be able to evade that? What other tools does Pitbull have is what I'm wondering. Because we've only seen a one-dimensional level of both of them real talk. What are they both going to bring to the table? The same old same? It's interesting to me. Like, what is this? It's just going to be, a matador against matador. What's popping here? Because none of them have feet. You feel what I'm saying? Both of them come forward. Are they just going to smash into each other until they both get demolished? What am I looking at here? Interesting stuff. I'm wondering if they'll bring anything new to their game. Particularly Pitbull with his defeat against Rayo. I think it's interesting. Will we get the same output? Will Pitbull even need to change anything up against Ryan? Because we know how Ryan gets with pressure as well. We know how Ryan Garcia gets with pressure. Okay. We saw Ryan fold under pressure before. Okay. He crumbled under the right amount of relentless pressure. And we know from who that was, Mr. Tank Davis, okay? Mr. Tank Davis put it on him and he quit. Man dropped to his knees quick fast. So if Pitbull can play some shots effectively on that type of level, on the inside where we know he's most comfortable, I think it may be all she wrote for Ryan. I don't know. I think it's a very interesting dynamic there. And, stylistically, I am intrigued. I'm not going to cap about that. Let me see what y'all think. Let me go to my Chizat. Let me go to my people, see what they're talking about. Salute everybody. Yes, his first loss, better than Roach. Yeah, exactly, King Freedom. It is better than Roach. Definitely better than Roach, 1,000%. Because, and I think it's better than Roach because if you are talking about Ryan and Cruz, because people don't know what to expect from this. It really is a toss-up. Riri and Cruz, that's a toss-up. You know what I'm saying? If Riri not coming in there correct, he can get straight up and down mollywopped and manhandled by that little Pitbull. Okay? Pitbull is no joke. He's no joke. And it makes for an interesting tension, I think, as far as, what we fight fans would want to engage with as opposed to, Tank and Roach, because people are already expecting Tank to, demolish, Roach with no questions asked. So yeah, it's definitely intriguing fight for sure. The beautiful King Steven says Ryan has an easier fight than Devin. He does. He definitely does. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. King Corbin, salute to you. Salute to you. King Eric says Ryan's skills are limited at best. Exactly. It makes me wonder, like, what is it that I don't know, child. I can't even try to think about what it is that I'm going to see as far as his style. I can't gauge him. My sister Shawa says Pitbull is one tricky pony, all pressure with T-Rex arms and boxers kick his ass. Exactly. Definitely a one-dimensional fighter. King Snoopy says Pitbull actually has an advantage. He's short and can hit Ryan in his chin quicker than Ryan can hit his. 1,000%. Absolutely. And if he can smuggle his way inside the way that he knows to, because I don't know how Ryan will keep him on the outside because he's not, he doesn't really have a jab. You know what I'm saying? So that's interesting. How is he going to abate the onslaught of Pitbull, who weasels and nuzzles his way inside, relentlessly? If you don't have any effective boxing skills and no effective jab, I don't know what you're going to be able to do with that. You know what I'm saying? Him just rushing in on you like that. Absolutely, King Snoop. You're on point with that one. Yes, King Freedom. They are both one-dimensional, no footwork. Yeah, so you guys know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Justin says, I think Juice Boy Ryan should win that fight. A little bit too big for Pitbull. Yeah, and that's an interesting dynamic as well, for the reason why, I guess I had a curiosity about, Pitbull moving up that 4 pounds. And of course, not to mention the height difference and just the size difference in general. I do not know Pitbull to be a big man. You know what I'm saying? I think, what weight did Ryan come in at? I think he walks around maybe something around 180 or something like that. I don't know Pitbull Cruz at 5'3" or whatever height he is to be walking around at that weight. I don't know. I could be mistaken, but I do not know him to be of a larger, size, for a man of his height. So it's definitely interesting as well, because if Ryan can exploit that, of course, the height and the reach advantage, and of course the, just being the bigger man overall, if he were smart enough to use that, to his advantage, of course, he could easily overcome that dynamic. The King G-Roll says Pitbull's 5'3" and ducks down, and that jelly roll gonna look funny when they fight. Exactly, King G-Roll. Salute to my sister, Shade Girl. I see you in the building, sis. Peace to you. Nice to see you. Oh, my goodness. Hold up. Not Black Truth. White Lies, where you been? We ain't seen you in a minute. And you show up to the Sugarfreemars space? I'm surprised. Salute to you, King. Nice to see you. Were you timed out? Did BF put you in timeout with the sippy cup? Is that why I haven't seen you over there? Nice to see you, King. Nice to see you. Let's see here. Yes, exactly. Mr. Justin, Pitbull is way smaller than Javante, which says a lot, because Javante is a tiny man. Exactly, King Stephen. He been missing. What? That man missing in action. Nice to see you, though. I'm glad to see you. Yeah, so all of these dynamics are intertwined into one another, and they make for an interesting probability as far as outcome. You got the size that the King Justin was talking about. You got the reach. You got, the one-dimensional aspect of both of them. Which one of them is going to step up? Who is going to apply the most pressure? We know Ryan to be very fast. We know him to hit, kind of like lightning, really quick and sharp. Can that supersede, or I should say, can that, put Pitbull at ease? Is he going to be able to, be accurate with those punches because Pitbull is so small? Is Ryan's accuracy going to be compromised because he's fighting somebody so small? Can Pitbull obviously has no problem fighting, larger men. Pretty much everybody's taller than him, but, can he effectively get inside and pressure Ryan? You know what I'm saying? And eliminate any possibility of the use of that jab. Is he going to do that? As far as, him taking a lesson from what Rayo, was able to accomplish over him, can he duck under those possible jabs? Can he, pose some real pressure, that'll make Ryan think twice about throwing shots? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's interesting. Definitely an interesting fight. I can't lie about that. So what that will look like, I guess we will wait and see. And of course, now moving on to the prospective fight between Tio and Boots in October. Now, I don't know. I haven't heard anything about them being on the May card, because I believe Devin, Haney, and Ramirez is going to be in May, and as well as Racist Riri and Pitbull. I think that is those two cards are set for May. Now the Boots and the Tio is set to be in October. So in the meantime, for May, I'm not sure what the dynamic is as far as their opponents. You know what I'm saying? But I guess we'll wait to see what the confirmation on that is. But as far as we know at this particular point, Tio and Boots, that particular matchup is set up for October. And I think that's interesting. Now, I'm going to keep it a stack with y'all, you guys. Tio versus Boots wasn't initially, anything that I was interested in the least bit. I wanted no parts of it. Do you guys remember when talks were going around about a month or so ago with Eddie Hearn, and there was some rumblings going on before this tournament was announced? Of course, this is like a month or so back, if you guys recall, where they were talking about a possibility between Boots and Tio and stuff like that. And Tio was clout chasing, calling Boots' name and all that. Y'all remember? Okay, a few weeks ago. And at that particular time, I was not, I didn't find anything viable about that option for Boots Ennis, to fight a Teofimo Lopez. Now, this is precisely because, Boots has repeatedly made it evident, you guys, okay? Boots has made it evident repeatedly that his interest lies in becoming a unified champion at 147. That's what the man said. He said this time and time again, okay? Teofimo offered no belt, no real claim other than, I guess, a way to pass the time. This is precisely why I was not for the, those talks, those few weeks ago when that was going on. I said, fight Tio for what? He has no belt. Is it he's just going to, have, get me through the month type of fight with Tio, just something to do type of fight with Tio. I was not interested. Okay. I don't need Boots passing time, because in my view, Boots had enough time passed. Facts or no, you guys. Okay. Isn't the whole hoopla that everybody wants to see Boots in there with competition? Isn't the whole hoopla that people want to see Boots take a strap off of the waist of a champion himself by his own hands? Okay, so that whole Tio talk at that time, I was like, miss me with that. Hells to the no. Okay? If the man is calling for unification in his division, and of course the subsequent undisputed, pathway, then why the fuck would Teofimo Lopez be an option? These were my thoughts, you guys. And these questions still persist for me, if I am being honest. If I'm being honest, which is what we're here to do. Okay? Now, I do feel, I guess, at this particular point, that I'm a little bit more open, if you will, a little bit more curious about this fight, because of the current mix-up with Devin Haney. That's the only reason why I have my little nose open a little bit. You feel me? It's because Devin Haney is somewhere in this topic. He's somewhere in this mix-up. And I'm like, that's an interesting fight to have. Because as you guys recall, I don't know a soul who hasn't been intrigued by the thought of a Devin Haney and Boots matchup. Okay? Especially when Devin showed interest in going to 147, about a year or so ago. You guys remember that? He touched on that in an interview. Like, yeah, I'd like to go up to 147 eventually and fight there. And everybody was like, oh my God, we know who's at 47. Boots is at 47. Could you guys possibly, you know what I'm saying? A lot of interest and curiosity around that. So for that reason, is why I have an interest in it. And of course, those haters, when Devin had mentioned that time ago that he'd, taken interest in going up to 147, them haters were all over the place. Y'all remember? They were the ones crying about, oh, well, he should be at 147. Go fight Boots. Why Devin don't go fight Boots? He's too big for Tank Davis. He's just too big, girl. I'm like, oh my God. So them haters was definitely, on the bandwagon of Dev going to 147 at that particular time, trying to call him a weight bully and riding that whole charade. Now, Boots and Devin in the equation, of this plan with Turki Al-Sheikh, has my attention. I'm not going to lie. You know what I'm saying? However, I can't help but wonder about the path to undisputed for Boots being stalled. I can't help but wonder that, you guys, in the midst of all of this. You know what I'm saying? Because I am a fan of Devin Haney. Without a doubt, he's one of my top gunners. So is Boots. So my interest lies in both of them. And I'm wondering, as I gauge over, to my left at Boots, and I'm saying, okay, well, how is he being satisfied here? What a part of his vision is being fulfilled within this whole 4-man tournament matchup? Is this bringing him closer to his goals? If not, how? How is it not? I'd say, of course, obviously, that there is no belt for him to gain. So if he is not getting a belt, out of anybody, any of these other 3 competitors, because obviously none of them are champions at 47, then what is the point? I can't help to think about it, and I didn't want to come across that thought because I don't want to seem as if he's wasting his time, and I don't want to speak against the possibility of he and Devin Haney fighting. Of course, that has fire all over it. The possibility of that matchup, those 2 beautiful brothers meeting, it has fire all over it. I don't want to speak against that, but I am looking realistically as well, because like I said, I'm not in the interest of one or the other. They are both my favorite fighters when I speak about Boots and Devin Haney. So I'm looking at both of their interests because I want both of these men to be, aligned with their particular goals. I don't want it to be kind of a dolphin with one fin outcome. You know what I mean? So I'm like, the reason that I'm thinking about this is because if they're not being met, it makes me ask the larger question of why? Why isn't one's goal being fulfilled, or why would one's goal be stalled in order for the upholding of another's goals in the midst? Because obviously Devin Haney has a lot to gain by fighting the likes of Boots, you know what I'm saying? And of course, the possibility of defeating him and all of that is on the table. What would be Boots's gain out of all of this? You know what I'm saying? Why would he be stalled in getting swiftly back onto his path to unification with the champions around him, and of course ultimately to become undisputed of 47? Boots Ennis is the king of 147. He's the king. Okay, he's the top name, the top energy in that weight division. Why is he playing with toys, so to speak? If I look at it from that perspective, because you think about it, Ryan Garcia, Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney. Devin Haney is a king, you know what I'm saying? But he's still, a 140 pounder. You know what I'm saying? He's still a little one, if you will, compared to Boots Ennis. When I look at it from that perspective, I'm like, why would they have Boots playing with the smaller, you know what I'm saying? So I think that Barrios in this particular avenue and aspect would have been a better logistical choice to have Barrios in that mix, to have the 4-man tournament with, instead of Boots, because Boots is the king. He's the supreme of the division. And I don't know why he would be put in the middle of that. If I'm just keeping it honest, these are my honest thoughts, you guys, that I'm thinking about. In addition to me being excited about the possibilities of whatever outcomes, I'm also looking at the flip side because I'm a dualistic person. So, I like the balance of looking at things plainly on either side. I think that Barrios would have been a better logistical choice, you guys, in the ring for the young men to make their way into that division. I think he would have been the better avenue into the 147 division. The king of the division should not be bothered with such matters. That's just a thought that I had, as interesting as it is to have Boots, and it's precisely possibly because he is the big name that he was thrown in the mix. But I just think that, when you are supreme, people have to work their way up to you. You're not the gatekeeper when you're the king. The gatekeeper is the gatekeeper. The king is the king. Let the king be on his tower. They got to make their way to earn getting to his tower and standing in front of him. What y'all think about that? Let me see what y'all saying. Y'all been typing, child. Y'all been typing. Salute, everybody. Salute to the King Slim. Nice to see you. If I didn't shout you out already. Black Truth says his whole run at 47 been passing time. I mean, you understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying, Truth? He had enough time to pass, King Truth. Okay? We don't need him passing time. So it's making me wonder why, all of these other avenues are being put, in front of him. Shouldn't he be trying to get these unifications? That I don't know why that isn't his trajectory and the focus of his direction and movement. Like I said, as entertaining as this situation is, I am also concerned with Boots's, legitimate and long-term goals for himself. You know, Tiafimo, he never said Tiafimo was a part of his legacy plan. He never said Devin Haney, real talk, was a part of his legacy plan. Why is this in front of him? Why aren't we making sure that the road to his goals are being fulfilled? He has not made any bones about what his plans are. Why aren't those being attacked? It's a genuine question that I have. You know, my sister Shawa says Eddie the Worm is going to be hell on Boots' career so long as he's in it. At least they are closer to he and Stanionis. Well, yes. You know, why isn't that fight being made? You know what I'm saying? I would at least have rather the unification first. You feel me? I don't know, you guys. I don't know. I have questions about this. Real talk. As eager as one can be to see the possibility of these two beautiful kings, Devin and Boots, meeting, you know, sometime next year. You know, I'm not going to bypass my interest in Boots' career just to be entertained. You know what I mean? I think that happens way too often, where we sacrifice maybe a sense of purpose just for something monetary or superficial or momentary, something transient. I think that the Devin Haney fight is something that is transient, something that is just passing through. I don't think that that's something, you know, that he's ever deemed that he wanted a part of his legacy, if we are being honest. You know, he made it plain what his legacy plans are before he moves up to 154 and beyond, that he wanted to become undisputed ultimately, you know, and doing that, of course, by unifying with the champions in front of him. The King Freedom says, pale nonsense is desperate to hate Devin. Pale nonsense? Hatred is weakness, says the King Eric. Facts. The King Slim says, Dev pushing his limits, whatever they may be. That's absolutely true, and I can't hate. I know the play on the Devin's part. You know what I'm saying? I absolutely know what type of time he is on. And I salute Devin. Y'all already know I'm a ride a dream team forever. No question about it, you know. But I'm also looking at Boots, and I want them both to be aligned with their goals. I don't think it should just work in one's favor over another. How are they both being satisfied? And I wish that I could hear from Boots, you know, so that he could explain this to me, because, you know, I can only go on his words. You know, he's told us what those visions are for himself, you know, and because he said that, I'm looking at him like, well, Boots, if you said that you wanted to be unified and undisputed, why are you being a part of this? And of course we could just chop it up to say, well, money, he was paid, you know, a great amount of money, which I'm sure that he was. But, you know, it's like, well, what of, you're willing to put your own ventures and goals to the side? So that means that he's stalling himself out, does it not? Would it not mean that he's then in the way of his own progress? I know that Boots is young. I think he's barely 30 years old. Boots may be something like 28, 29. So he's still very young. I get that. But I don't know. I'm like, if you can do your unifications, why not? Or were they withholding the unifications for you? Were they saying that Stanionis wasn't busy? Are they telling you that Barrios has other plans and you feel like you need to, you know, pass the time, so to speak, you know, by doing something like this and make great money while you're on top of it? I have questions. I really do. And Connor Ben is, of course, you know, toted up as, you know, big hot shit. You know what I'm saying? Are they trying to put Boots to the side, you know, so that, you know, keep him distracted while they build up Connor Ben? There's a lot of dynamics here that I have questions about. Very much so. Let's see what we got here. Black Truth says, no one in 147 is a king. I don't know about that. Why would you say that? You don't think Boots ain't a king? He's one of the kings. He got a strap. He's one of the kings. And he's the biggest name, you know, at 47. Whose name is bigger than Boots at 147? He's the king, bro. I don't know how you would disagree with that. Who else is the king? Stanionis? Yeah, I don't agree with you there, Black Truth. The King Uncommon says Devin Boots are the two major black threats at 140 and 147. They want them to eliminate each other. Absolutely. And that's exactly and precisely what else was a part of my thoughts, King Uncommon. It's like, I don't know. It's just, those are my sentiments exactly. It's kind of like an elimination, where what does one, one of them is going to miss out. So Devin Haney is going to, let's say, if he loses to Boots Ennis, and that if that fight materializes, what will his position then be? And then Boots Ennis, who has, because he is the king of 147, was now demolished by, a 140 pounder who came up to challenge him. You know what I'm saying? It would make sense that they go head to head if they were both champions and they had to hash it out anyway. That's the proper battlefield. That is where the battlefield makes sense, because the playing fields are set for the two kings to meet here in this place. Devin is not a 147 champion. And so it just makes things very, very lopsided. And I know why you use that word, for them to eliminate each other, because it's not like this is the two kings and we're trying to finalize between the two kings of this division, with their belts, meeting and hashing it out in their war. This is not the case at all. This is entertainment value, and one will be sacrificed. One will be sacrificed. Is different from a regular battle, from an actual battle between kings. It's not the same thing. This battle is entertainment value. It's not of the same type of credence and weight as two champions of their divisions coming head to head would be. It differs. It differs greatly. It's a fantastic fight. Like I said earlier, I'd be remiss, to sit here and try to play as if that's not a fight that I wouldn't be interested in seeing. But in this particular setting, I don't know. Things feel uneven to me. It feels a little bit uneven. Hey, my sister Neek. She says, Queen Sugarfreemars, happy Sunday. Hey, beautiful sis. Nice to see you. Thank you for popping up on your girl. She says, Ring Magazine just released Stan versus Boots in April. Almost done. Oh, okay. Interesting. Very interesting. So, okay. Okay. Nice to hear. Okay. So that really frees up some space in my mind. Very, very good. Very good. So then this is a unification fight. Wonderful. Wonderful news. Because I'm like, don't be trying to play with my boy. You know what I'm saying? Don't be trying to have Boots out here, you know what I'm saying, looking scraggly, cleaning up messes. You know what I'm saying? If he's the king of the division, that's not his job. That's why I was like, they should have had, somebody like Barrios be the, you know what I'm saying? But since he's getting his, unification match in first, I guess that frees up a little bit more space in my mind. It clears a little bit of the air for me, because I want his needs to be met. That's really what I've been getting at this whole time. Is that I want Boots' needs to be met. I don't want him to be bypassed and used as some type of, carrot to dangle in front of other opponents. You cannot do that to the king of a division, because that's exactly what he is, so far. At least it stands to be seen, because the kings have to fight each other. All of them have to fight each other. But I'm talking about as far as his stature, as far as his name and what he reps at 147. Everybody know, Boots is top of the top as far as name recognition and, all of that. So even though they want Conor Benn to be, which ain't happening. The beautiful sister Chiquila says, the warrior queen sister, peace to the chat. Hey sis, nice to see you. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Yeah, y'all. So it's interesting stuff here. Here for Boxing Salute, he says, people really act like Devin Haney doesn't know how to fight all of a sudden. What you mean? People act like that? You mean as far as like what they anticipate for his comeback? My sister Neek says, if we want the best to fight the best, can we be upset about the order in which it happens? Definitely interesting. Definitely interesting. I can't say that I'm too precious about the order in which it happens. Um, I just feel like I don't know. I don't know. I don't like the I don't like the elimination aspect that my brother Uncommon and I were talking about earlier. Um, Something about it made me feel a little bit uneven um, in a particular way. But like I said, it does not take away from the fact that it's a great matchup and it'll be a great fight to see those two men collide. Um, but the how is also up for speculation on my end, at least. Now, let's see here. Um, all the movement and the buzz that's going on in and around uh, boxing right now certainly has me looking at the wider boxing world. Okay, 147 is, people are touching 147. People are transitioning and moving up in weight classes, and we got these potential matchups in the work, and it's wonderful, wonderful to see. But I'm also looking at the how it applies to the wider context as well. And in doing so, I'd be remiss to not look in the middle of all of that's going on with Devin and Ryan and all that's going on there. I'd be remiss to not look at Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson, right? Now, virtually all of the comp has moved up in weight pretty much, right? Everybody, I mean, 135 is pretty much desolate outside of, I guess we have, Keyshawn, Tank, and Shakur right now, right? 140, they done moved up. Now you got 140 pounders, making their way up to 147. You know what I'm saying? Flirting with the 147 division. And it has me asking, where does that leave these two men? Does Shakur have any intentions on going to 140 sooner than later? Perhaps? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't really see. Shakur has a weird position for me at this particular time because I could totally see him going up to 140, but I don't know. I don't know what his real intentions are because he hasn't been as clear as I would like. You know what I'm saying? As far as, his intentions to become undisputed, you know what I'm saying? As far as if he's willing to fight Keyshawn, if Keyshawn is a champion at that particular time, what does he intend to do? You know what I'm saying? The charades that have been going on with Tank's refusal to fight the man has been absolutely ridiculous, as we know, and it really asks the question, is Shakur supposed to also wait for Tank forever? What happens here? What's the line for Shakur Stevenson? It's quite possible to me that Tank Davis will be standing alone eventually in a desolate division the way that he's been moving. He's refusing to fight Shakur Stevenson. Okay. He's telling Keyshawn that he brings nothing to the table, just like he's telling this person or that person. Quite frankly, I think that Tank Davis likes it this way. You know what I'm saying? He likes to stall out and has been stalling out, it seems to me, all of his most significant fights. Have you guys noticed that? He's been stalling out having and materializing any of the significant fights around him and that he could make. He only recently tried to make something materialize with Loma. That was just recently. But by then, Loma was already losing steam for the sport. And we don't even know if he's returning. I think he has until the end of the year sometime to let the world know if he makes a return. But that in and of itself tells me that the man is done with the sport. You got to think about that. You need a whole year to think about that. Bro, just go home to your wife and kids now. But that's another story. But yeah, he only recently tried to materialize that fight with Lomachenko. Tank Davis had 6 or 7 years prior to that, fight with Lomachenko. He had 6 or 7 years prior to this recent interaction to make that fight with Loma, but he did not. Okay? Devin Dunn became undisputed at the weight class that Tank claimed he was the king of. How does that happen? How are you the king of the division and somebody could be undisputed under your nose? Okay? Shakur is making it plain at this particular moment, as you guys have been seeing, that he wants the fight. He's been talking about it. He's been saying it. Okay? He's saying that he's there for the fight. Let's actually get things cracking now. What's the holdup? But he's being told, well, you ain't done shit. You ain't do shit. It's like, what? Do you want to fight him or no? How are you going to tell him no, but say that it's strap season? How are you saying these things? He's saying that Shakur brings nothing of value to the table. Meanwhile, Shakur is holding a strap around his waist. What is happening, you guys? How are you claiming strap season and you're not snatching belts off of the waist of the kings around you? How are you not taking heads of the kings in your division? It's insane to me. 135 is in a very precarious position, and I think 25 holds to answer a lot of those questions. And I think that all of the movement generating at 140 and above, is really shining a light on, the stalemate that 135 is in. Because all of this change and shift is happening at 140 and above. Meanwhile, 135 is stale. Remember when I was talking about new life earlier and how the new life that's generating in the sport right now is either going to propel and foster and curate the growth of some fighters versus others? Well, this is a perfect example of that. Perfect example of that. Okay? 147 is being kissed with new life by the entrance of people like Devin, Haney, and the others. Meanwhile, 135 seems to be dying a slow death. Facts or no, you guys? What's happening? There's a lot of skeletons going on there, And with Keyshawn's fight coming up in, I believe, a month or so, I think that some questions will be answered because should Keyshawn win his fight, it's going to have to ruffle the feathers of people like Tank Davis, who's going to have to turn to him and say, eventually at some point, if he's really about that, at least, all right, let's fight. Is that going to call Tank Davis into some action? You know what I'm saying? Some questions have to start getting answered at 135 for sure, because the stillness can't persist the way that it has been. It just can't, and it really has me wondering about Tank Davis. None of these things should be happening, you guys. None of this should be happening. Is this why Tank Davis was talking about retirement, y'all? Was this his plan of retirement? To stall out for as long as possible his competition by avoiding them before he makes his exit and hauls ass to the retirement center? Was this his plan all along? To wait until there's virtually no one left? And that he could use the excuse that, well, everybody left the division. Or maybe he used the excuse, well, they left because they didn't want to fight me. What's going on here? I feel a lot of excuses happening. A lot of excuses under the surface, waiting to be had by Tank Davis to use, as a cloak as to why he didn't get in there and compete with his weight classmen. It's very odd to me. I'm looking at 135 in the mid of all of this transition happening with the other beautiful brothers stepping up and, making business moves. And I just don't find any viable reason why 135 is so still. You know what I'm saying? And I think all the justifications also that I've been hearing throughout the week from fans has been the most remarkable thing that I've ever come across in sports, in any other sport that I've watched. I mean, fans incessantly making excuses as to why, fights at 135 are not happening with Tank Davis has been, astounding to me. Absolutely astounding to me. People are more interested in giving and providing excuses as to why the fights shouldn't happen than they are getting behind fights happening. And these people are calling themselves fans of the sport. This type of talk, you guys, it really had left me, in a cloud of like, what am I really witnessing here? What am I really witnessing here? And it's another reason why, seeing the Turki trajectory and his plans and the prospects for, the rest of the year and into next year really has me excited for the sport because, he's absolutely eliminating such excuses. He really is. And for a long time, it seems like the excuses were outweighing, the things that were actually being materialized in the sport for the reason we even faced a year like we faced last year in boxing. So many, it seems like the excuses, were more pervasive than the action, than the heart, than the courage. It was bonkers to me. All of this has been bonkers to me. And the fact that people are still, riding that wave and trying to push that narrative is devastating to me. How are the likes of Shakur Stevenson, Tank Davis, and, whoever else you want to name, that we know and love in the sport, how are they supposed to grow and progress and transition into better levels of themselves, better sportsmen, if they are not competing? It makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. No sense to me whatsoever. We have to see these men get in there and fight. They have to get in that ring and they have to earn it. They have to prove it. They must do that with each other. And as they move up in weight and face, different levels of competition, then they'll continue on the road to doing that. But saying that fights should outright not happen, to stand in the way of them and say, well, this shouldn't happen because of this, dollar amount or whatever menial excuse that these people can come up with is absurd to me. And it's something that I feel is ruining the sport on a crazy, crazy level, internecine level. I'm never going to be for, the people talking against the kings getting in the ring with each other. You know what I'm saying? So long as all of the parties involved are satisfied and their goals are being met and it's aligned with their vision and their particular objectives, I don't know how you could speak against that. And, all of this movement is really separating the real from the fake as well, which is absolutely necessary. A lot of feelings may be hurt in the process of watching your people be exposed. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's necessary because you shouldn't even be in the same conversation or in the same league with the real ones anyway. So you are bound to get weeded out. The situation by which that happens is just up, the determining factor. But nonetheless, you will be exposed anyway. The real always is a step apart from the fake, always. They can never stand in the same room on the same stature. And I think that this situation evinces that very, very clearly. Let me see what my people are talking about. Salute everybody in the building. Yes, King Stephen, he says facts. The men are moving up in weight. Yeah, people are leaving. 135 is bound to be desolate at some point. And, is Tank Davis going to be standing there alone? Because last I heard, his man fans were saying, he's too small. He's just so little. Oh my God, he's so small. He can't go up to 140. All these excuses. So that means he's going to stay still? That's what you're telling me? No elevation whatsoever? He's not going to elevate in weight? He's not going to elevate in consciousness or competition? It sounds to me like he's already retired. If that's the case, he might as well just stay in bed. Stay in bed, lock the doors and close the windows. Because you're wasting time. Absolutely wasting time. Here for Boxing says, Turkey needs to hurry up and buy the PBC so Tank and PBC fanboys can finally shut up for good. Exactly. Imagine that. Imagine that here for Boxing. What? Those people will jump out a window, child. They can't deal with that. If Turkey took over PBC so that Tank can actually... Hey, those people would lose their mind, okay? The insane asylums would be full of bodies, of fanboy bodies. They can't take that type of stuff. They're like, what? They don't want Turkey anywhere near Tank. They speak against it as much as they can. And so does Tank himself. Because he already know what time it is. Absolutely. Yep. King Slim says we're going to have to settle for Key and Inoue. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, at this point, Same thing for that made me think of Tank Davis. So let's say if Shakur Stevenson, eventually moves up, if he keeps stalling that damn man out and Shakur actually gets the wherewithal about him to say, you know what, fuck this, I'm leaving. Let's say he does that. Is Tank Davis going to, he going to have to fight the likes of Inoue? You know what I'm saying? Is Tank Davis going to pull up Oshaki? That's a fight that's been talked about. After he takes care of Lamont Roach, are you going to keep pulling up 130 pounders? I mean, who else can you pull up besides Inoue and somebody like Oshaki? It's insane. Because obviously he has no interest in even fighting his own people of his weight division. He has no interest in fighting people of 135, 140, nothing. And speaking of which, you guys, I'm not sure if you guys saw that Devin Haney had said that once he moves up to 147 and that transition is official and finalized, because of course his return fight's going to be at 144, but once he actually transitions and goes to 47, he is not coming back down. He made that very clear on his social media. And that makes sense, of course. I have nothing against that. That's absolutely, great. But, it really does close the coffin on the possibility of a Tank fight, on the possibility of a Shakur fight. Because I'm not sure if you guys have seen, Shakur recently came out and said that, he has no intention to go to 147. Did you guys see that? Shakur said he has no intention to go to 147. And Tank Davis is supposedly uncomfortable, according to his man fans, at 140. So we already know that 147 is out the door. So that means that the absolute mega fight of boxing that we here today, all of us, all of my beautiful family, my beautiful people, okay? All of us who have been long following boxing, long following Dev, Shakur, and Tank, we won't ever get to see the fight between those three men. We won't ever get to see that mix-up, okay? Devin stayed at 135 for as long as he can. He reigned there for I don't know how many years. Okay, he stayed in that division until he absolutely couldn't. He left. Okay, and now he's venturing beyond the 140 division. As he should. He's a growing man. His body has been growing all of this time. It will continue to. Devin Haney is still a young man. Okay, so he's going where it's comfortable for him, and he's following his career objectives and aims, as he should. But, he's leaving he's leaving those men in the wayside and, to the dust, to the absolute dust. And nobody is seemingly able to keep up with him. And my question is y'all content with that? Tank and Devin, y'all got to look at yourselves for, I don't know, the rest of your careers and say, damn, when Devin was in and around, our division, we could have made that fight possible. Shakur Stevenson got to sit with the fact that he turned down a 25% with Devin Haney. He has to deal with that. Now that it's highly probable that they will never meet in the ring. If he has no intentions, like he said, on going to 147. He said something like, oh, I'm plenty comfortable at 35. I'd go to 140, but that's it. No intention on venturing to 47 where Devin will be. So they will not meet. And he has to live with the reality that he negated and denied and evaded the opportunity to fight that man for undisputed at 35. And Tank Davis has to live with for, the rest of his career life, the fact that he, never sent any offers to either of them. What is going on? What is going on? There's no reason why these three men should not have met. And the reality that we have to deal with now that, the possibility of these matchups being made is absolutely shredded and over and demolished. It makes me damn, what the hell? This is what got me riled up in boxing, because I had let go of boxing for, a long, long time. And I got revitalized by the likes of Earl Spence, by the likes of Tank Davis, by the likes of Devin Haney, and the myriad other fighters that I support. They gave me a jolt back into the sport. And so the fact that, the men among my favorites, who made me, pick up boxing with even more enthusiasm than I ever had, the fact that they are not going to shake it up and mix it up together, it's It's sad to me. I don't know if anybody else feels like that, but it really does deflate my, a sense of, passion and fire. It really does, like, make me sit back like, damn, these men never got, they're never gonna fight each other. What's good? The King Mike says, Tanks should just get out of the way. If you don't want the big fights, why are you fighting? Exactly, the great Mike. It's a question that we ask all the time, you and I, great Mike, don't we? We always come across this particular point when we are speaking about Tank Davis. How many times have we said that to each other, Mike? It's insane. And the fact that we are repeating it still, and there's still no change in the direction or in the, the course of action, it's insane. Why is he still in boxing? Nobody seems to be able to answer that question for me, at least not of his man fans. They just can't. You're not going to make these fights happening. What are we doing if you're not making these fights happening? It's so strange to me, and it's disgusting work, real talk, nasty work, that we won't see these men mix it up. You mean to tell me I'm not going to see Tank Davis versus Devin Haney ever? You mean to tell me, I'm barely, and I can't even get goddamn Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson, and these niggas are standing next to each other. They in the same goddamn house. And I can't even see them. Nasty work, y'all. What is going on? What is going on? But, I can't be too mad because, I know what Devin would have wanted. He would have wanted to mix it up with both of them. He was there to do that. These motherfuckers was, wasting time and, turning down goddamn offers and not sending offers. It's been an absolute charade. So he did the best that he could. So the onus, of my prestige and of my, respect is always going to be with Devin Haney because he tried to make those things happen and he showed up to make those things happen. He's not going to stand there and wait forever. So you got to salute that brother. Go ahead and go, attempt greatness for yourself, Dev. I'm rocking with the King Dev. Young Black Jesus, Devin Haney all day. In whatever he intends to do, I'm going to support that brother because he shows up for the sport time and time again. And he never has me out here in these boxing streets looking crazy. He never has me turning back on my word or second guessing myself. He's out here getting that business done. Shakur and Tank are just levels behind, levels behind. And I'm hoping, at least have a little bit of hope for Shakur Stevenson because, he's taking on the Schofield, I think, who's ranked number 1 or number 2 in the WBA. So, he's trying to get his little work done and he's trying to restore his, his level of credibility and respectability in the sport after, the lackluster performance that people will not let him live down against, whatever that, I can't remember his name. I don't know why. Not Sabeda, De Los Santos. So it's like, he's trying to recuperate from that. And I have hopes for him that he will, be able to reclaim his stature. But, ultimately, he's not going to be able to reclaim anything to the degree that he should unless and until he fights Devin Haney. I'm sorry, until and unless he fights Tank Davis. He has to fight Tank. And Tank just is not making that option available for anybody right now. If you're not a 130 pounder, Tank Davis ain't making no goddamn room for you. He's not looking at you. He's not thinking twice about you. So as far as 35, the division, and as far as the year 2025, I don't know what's in store for that division this year. It remains to be seen. Like I said, time and time again, my eyes now are on 140 and above. I can't wait to see the moves that are made with those brothers up there because, it's definitely tantalizing. It's definitely interesting. And it's galvanizing a whole lot of, anticipation for the moves that's going to be made up there. Yes. Now, really quickly, you guys, did anybody see the news of EJ? Supposedly that Fondora fight is over and stuff like that. I didn't hear EJ make any confirmations about that. I know people are like, dead set that the fight is over between he and Fondora. I think who was that? Michael Benson or Cappinger? All these motherfuckers cap. So they're all the same to me. But I'm not sure which one of those quote unquote, reporters with their sources, made that statement. But does anybody know the details of that, of why? You know what I'm saying? EJ didn't make no statement about that fight being absolutely over. I did see him say that he will come back to the ring when he is ready. And I did see, him make the post about how effed up boxing is, but I didn't see any official, statement that he had made that, listen, you guys, Fundora fight is not happening. I'll see you, end of the year or next year or something like that. I don't know what's up with that. But, just going off of the presumption that's going around, I think it'll be absolutely, I'm not happy to hear that the fight with Fundora would be off. Is it having something to do with his health? Is it having something to do with, the business? Is it something PBC? I don't know what's going on. It's very odd to me. But you also know, if you guys recall, that they've been, alluding to the cancellation of this particular EJ Fundora fight for a goddamn year. Facts or no? Because when EJ made his way into the ring last March, I want to say, or April, I think it was last March, and he absolutely, staked his claim to fighting Fundora. When he got in the ring after that matchup that Fundora had, and he let the world know that he will be fighting for that belt and that he wants to smoke, they've been making up all types of assumptions and fake news ever since then. Oh, the fight's not happening. Fight's not every 3 or 4 months. Oh, EJ fighting Fundora fight is canceled, you guys. Every few months, we keep hearing that fight was canceled. So I'm wondering, if this is another, sense of the boy crying wolf type of thing. How many times are the people going to speculate that this fight is canceled? You guys know what I'm talking about. How many times have they posited that the EJ Fundora fight was canceled over the past year? So many quote unquote reportings and breaking news. Oh, breaking news, fight with Fundora is canceled. So what the fuck is the difference now? That's why I'm calling cap. That's why I don't believe it until EJ himself says that, until Fundora himself says that. There's an official statement from both parties. I don't give a fuck about no goddamn Cappinger, or whoever the hell. Why are people out here, putting all of this information out? Why have they been doing that for the past year? How the fuck is a fight being threatened, every 3 months to be canceled that's not canceled? It's weird to me, the energy and the movement put behind it, seeming like they want this fight to be canceled, like they're trying to cancel the fight with this fake news by, taking interest away from it by threatening its cancellation for a year. That's insane to me. That's insane to me. And who the hell was Bud talking about when he said, listen, you should have took the fight when you had an opportunity? Was he talking to EJ? Was he talking to Fundora? What's going on with this mix, y'all? I don't like this, what I'm seeing between this thing here. And why the fuck would Bud be worried about who should have took any fight, whether he was talking to Fundora or EJ, when he's taking his ass to 168? Why you worried? Aren't you going to fight Canelo? Keep your eyes over there, bro. You know what I mean? And while you at it, drop that belt. Bud got a belt. So, you know what I mean? Worry about how you're going to be letting that belt go while you go fight Canelo or whatever. I don't know. I just didn't like that. I ain't like that, y'all. I'm going to keep it a stack. Because it had me in question. I'm like, well, what's going on here? Why is there, all this illusion? All of this is seeming, because real talk, really where my angst is coming from in this dynamic, you guys, is that it's a stalling out and a justifying of the EJ and Bud rematch not happening. It's a blockade in the road of that. You know what I mean? It's more and more blockades thrown. It's more and more impasses thrown in the way, of that fight possibly materializing, of the possibility of it materializing. I don't know. But, once I heard that Bud was going up to 68, I'm like, this fight is not happening between him and EJ, because why would Bud go to 68 to fight Canelo and come back down? And this is from the man that said that he wouldn't, be fighting possibly for another year. Oh, maybe you guys get a few more fights out of me, 1 or 2, and then I'm out. Is this a retirement, retirement scheme that Bud is going on? That's what it looks like to me. And if it is, salute to him, for going to, I guess going out with a bang to make his last possible fight, if he is retiring or if he intends to, retire after the Canelo fight. Salute to you. Okay, you want that to be your last fight? I can't be mad at you. But if you are intending to come back, you know, what is the gain? I don't know. I'm just confused, y'all. I don't like what I'm seeing there. The whole Fundora, Bud, EJ shit got me like, what the fuck is going on? Okay? I couldn't get that Bud rematch at 54 instantly. For whatever reason, the politics of that got in the way. Okay, so now everybody's ready for EJ to fight Fundora, and now this shit is being threatened every fucking 3 weeks with cancellation. What is going on? Because ultimately, I just want to see EJ back in that ring and healthy. Ciao. I don't like what I'm seeing. Anyway, let me check with my chat. I think that's all I got for today, you guys. I know that there's some stuff going on this particular Sunday. I don't want to hold anybody up from what they've got to do. Let me see what my people saying before we get out of here. I think this was all a plot to get a lawsuit dropped. That's what Coach Hudson says. A lawsuit dropped? With whom? Salute Grail. He says, sugar free salute. Nice to see you, King. Thank you for coming. I appreciate that. I don't think Ryan is going to fight Devin, is what Coach Hudson says. I have a feeling about that as well, Coach Hudson. Not going to lie to you. I definitely concur with that. Lucas Bott says, allegedly EJ want 3D more time. I have no idea what that means. If you could clarify that, or if you want to, I can make out what you were trying to say there. The King Steven says, EJ should give his excellently a call. Okay, Coulter. Thank you. Thank you. Okay? Because if he's already in talk with Buds, there's no reason why he shouldn't be, you know what I'm saying, on the line with EJ or getting in contact with some of EJ's people, because EJ is a draw, is actually a draw. So I would love to see, a meeting of Turkey and EJ. 1000%. No reason why it shouldn't be happening if it isn't happening already. The King Mike says, let Bud fans tell it. EJ is done. Exactly. And that's the narrative that people want to keep parading around. That's the foundation of all of these cancellation rumors and all of these, is EJ blah, blah rumor. It's on the basis of that, of trying to solidify and state definitively that EJ is done. And that's not true, because EJ hasn't said he's done. He ain't done until he goddamn say he's done. What the fuck are these people talking about? They're wishing him to be done. They're wishing for his demise and for his end. It's strange to me. It's weird to me. The King Eric says, seems like PBC mode of operation lately. Yes. Yes, King Eric. Seems like the PBC's mode of operation lately. What is, my sister Shawa says, Letsuit, so however it's spelled, wants to get Sebastian paid. EJ was big bread, but they can't put it off forever. But just doing whatever he wants. Yes, beautiful sister Shawa. Yes. Coach Hudson says to get Devin to drop the lawsuit. Oh, yeah, exactly. Exactly. I see what you're saying now. Like Fury tried to do with Wilder to not fight the third match. Yeah, I feel you, Coach Hudson. The King PG says, Dev should not drop the lawsuit. Sue that racist bastard. That's what I'm saying. And when I saw the news that, I guess that they were in the preliminaries of some sort of, trying to go through, I guess with the end goal would be that the lawsuit would have been dropped or something like that. Whatever talks that they're going through now, I don't know what that term is called that I came across on that particular post that was speaking about that. Whatever, actions are being taken now, I guess, to see if they would withdraw the lawsuit or whatever. When I saw that, I was like, oh, do not let the foot up off the gas. Sue his ass, make him sign up for the goddamn VADA. You know what I mean? The only way that should have been, contingent, the dropping of the lawsuit should have been contingent upon the fact that he signs up for that 365 testing, because according to what I've heard recently, I believe the brother Beautiful King BF shared that he did not still sign up for VADA. So why the hell would I lift up this lawsuit off your ass and you ain't signed up for no goddamn 365? Hells to the no. Hells to the no. You know what I mean? No, absolutely not. Sister Shawa says it would make sense EJ get his lawsuit and new trainer situation behind him. Yeah, I think he's not ready, but he's not done. He and Fundora and PBC uh, are on PBC, so I don't even think it's the company. Yeah, and I'm wondering if that whole lawsuit trainer situation, is that the factor? I really don't know, beautiful sis. All of this is very, very strange to me. Very strange. Um, I don't like the way this is looking. And because this fight is in such upheaval and has been in question for the past year, it's making me wonder if it's taking steam out of EJ's, passion to even come back. You know what I mean? Especially with that frustrated sounding tweet that he posted, you know. I don't know. I don't know if he was talking about the Devin situation as far as like, because he had mentioned boxing is effed up, but it was pertaining to like PED use and that people aren't serious on, you know, drug users, basically PED users and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know. And EJ is very he's a man of few words online. So it's not like we're going to get an interview where he can clarify a lot of these things. So we just have to really just chop it up to the wind at this particular point, until we actually see a for real confirmation of a fight or a statement made by him particularly. So I don't know. Of course, I'm hoping for the best for him. And I don't want to, deem him done until he tells me that he's done. That's when I will say that he's done. I don't want to surmise, anything that isn't true. The King Stephen says there might be a settlement, a lawsuit is paused for 90 days. Oh, okay. Yes, that's what I heard. The settlement. Yes, there was a settlement. Okay. Why is it paused? So I think from what I may have come across that it's paused, and that pause for 90 days is basically the time frame that they will give him to sign up to the 365 VADA. Am I correct, King Stephen? I think I come across that somewhere online. That the 90-day pause is the time frame that they will give him to sign up for that testing. Which is weird because like, why the fuck do you need 90 days just to sign up? That's crazy. This thing is stalling out. He's a creep, that racist Riri. The King finally says, who does it benefit for Devin to drop his lawsuit? Exactly. Which is why, if it were me, I wouldn't let the pressure off that ass. I would be steady with that pressure. I ain't coming off of nothing. But, DHP, they have a vision and, they lead the way. So I respect it. Black Ray Donovan. Did I see you before? I don't believe I've seen you before. He says, I'm here because of bare minimum. I have no idea what that means, King, or what you were referencing, but it's okay. It's okay. King Stephen says, I told Bill, don't drop the lawsuit. Facts. As you should. If he takes heed, to the words, God bless him. You know what I'm saying? But of course, I respect the King Bill and the King Dev. So whatever way they go in, I'm rocking with them because at the end of the day, I want to see them justified. And, should they ever enter that ring with Ryan, if Ryan is successful with Pitbull, I'd like to see him get that back because that's what he said he wanted. But I'm not about letting up on any amount of pressure on the Ryan Garcia team at all in any way. He deserves all the he can get. Okay. Because even his quote unquote penalty that he faced was light work, in my opinion. So any pressure is due to him that he can get. Give it all. Crazy. Yeah, y'all. Black Ray Donovan. Oh, okay, you wrote back. He says, LOL. My homie told me to tune in because you be cooking. His name on Twitter is Bare Minimum. Oh, I get it. I'm like, you here at the Bare Minimum. What you talking about, gang? Okay, his name is Bare Minimum. Okay. I'm glad he told you to roll up, and I'm glad that you rolled up. Salute to the both of you. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you. I really do. I really do. Hey T9, he says salute, Sugar Free. Salute to you. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. You came at the bare end, but I'm glad to see you. And I think that's for, I think that's for all of us to await, everything that's going to, come to pass. I'm in anticipation for, I'm excited for. And of course, we will await the outcome of all of this. But so far, I love what it is that I'm seeing with Turkey shaking up things. I love the brothers that are on deck. Of course, Boots and Devin Haney leading the charge in the possibility and outcome that can, be made between them possibly next year if everybody is successful. Devin Haney with his fight against Ramirez. I'm definitely interested in. I really don't care about Ryan and Pitbull. I guess the only, excitement that would be put to that is if he can beat Pitbull, because that would mean that the rematch between he and Devin would happen in October. That's the only means of interest that I have in the Ryan and Pitbull fight. Other than that, I don't give a damn about that fight at all. And, of course, the possibility of Tio, who is he going to be fighting in the meantime? Because if Boots is going to fight Stanionis, who is Tio's intermediate fight? Interesting stuff. I guess we'll wait to see that announcement as well. But very interesting plans we have, you guys, for 25. I'm very, very interested, and I can't wait to see what happens. Black Ray Donovan says, how often do you go live? Well, this is officially my 4th live today. I try to do it on, so far I've been doing it either on a Saturday or a Sunday afternoon. The times vary. Like today, last week I did around 4:30. Today I did around 1:30 because I've been made privy that there was a football happening going on. I don't watch football, so I don't know. But a beautiful brother that I follow is a football fan. And it was via his channel that I found out that there were some games happening today. So I pushed it up early so that I wouldn't intervene. I think I actually have to end now because it may be on. So I would say like Saturday or Sunday afternoons, but I would always post it in my community tab before I go live. I'll always put it on the community page when I'll be going live and the time. So just keep up with me. If you haven't subscribed, definitely subscribe to the channel and keep up with your girl. And then you'll be able to be privy to all that information. But yeah, beautiful people, I don't want to impede on you guys' time. I know that there's stuff going on, games and what have you. I hope everybody has a beautiful, beautiful rest of your Sunday. I hope that you have a beautiful week ahead. And I guess I will see you guys on the next one. From my good family in here, I will see you either on BF's or Champside's channel. We'll chop it up then. I appreciate you all so much for joining me today. I really do, you guys. Thank you for talking boxing with your girl. It's beautiful to see my family in the building, talking to me, chopping it up with me on this boxing shit that we love. I really appreciate you guys. All right. Be well. And I will definitely see you all soon. Have a beautiful evening, you guys. Peace.